24. I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease 2005, January, so it's 2011, almost 6 years. I was in a car accident, multiple car accidents over the past 6 years. And the last one was probably one of the worst, where whiplash, pain, hard to walk up steps. I've been seeing Dr. John ever since I've been diagnosed. I got overcome the first diagnosis, and then a year and a half later got reinfected and have been seeking treatment again, and for the year, and kind of stuck at a plateau with kind of nothing working. And we got the custom remedy, and ever using that, a week later I felt better. Wasn't tired all the time, my joints didn't hurt, running wasn't a pain. Before I was tired every day, nothing seemed to be working. And then once I started this, the next day I had energy.
Well, I was referred from a doctor, and he made me jump through hoops. He had to stop eating everything and put me on more antibiotics I didn't know what to do with. It got worse. And he said, well, give it more time. Stop eating this. It got worse. I said, no, I'm going back to where I should have gone before. And I was really bad. I was sleeping most of the day, a lot of pain, no energy, which isn't like me. The antibiotics, whatever you had, will not work, and suggested coming here. Then within 2 weeks, I literally was almost completely back to normal the way I used to be. Wow. More energy levels, smiling, happy, not miserable all the time, totally carefree, no problems whatsoever. After the supplements, I was back to normal again, and I've been that way ever since.
Hi, my name is Natalie Dennis. I'm from York, Pennsylvania. Prior to meeting Dr. John and getting introduced to his Lyme remedy, I'd found a tick on my son's ear, right over here, and I'd taken it off thinking it was just a piece of dirt. Later found out several days later, when he had a giant bullseye rash, that it was a little bit more. We stopped by Dr. John. He suggested a remedy. We also went to a medical doctor who also suggested amoxicillin. The amoxicillin entirely ripped up his digestive system. He had diarrhea all day long. We were about ready to go visit family. The last thing I wanted to do was to have our son sick for a vacation, and so we took Dr. John's remedy. For the next 2 months after that, we had no sign of any rash, no fever, no nothing. He was a natural little boy. This was mid last May when I found the tick, and right now it's mid-February. So as you can see, he's still a bright little boy, and I would highly recommend you to try Dr. John's remedy, or at least come to visit him if you have any questions at all. Thank you.
Yeah, I've had many symptoms of Lyme's, growing for many years, and of course I was in denial of having it, I guess, for a long time. And many friends of mine have it, and wanted me to get tested, and of course I didn't go about that until recently, and I met Dr. John here, who I was referred to from a good friend. They, after coming here, he gave me a custom Lyme remedy, which has, in the past month or two, has really changed a lot of my symptoms I've had in just daily life. Has improved dramatically.
Thank you.
And also I've had, I used to have heart palpitations pretty regularly, not every day, but mostly in the evenings, several times a week, and that seems to completely subsided in the past several weeks. You know, I wake up in the mornings and I have energy. I mean, I get out of bed and I'm like, my feet hit the floor and I'm ready to go. I'm not dragging and it seems like during the day I get tired some, but for the most part I have a lot more energy. I mean, the sharpness I've noticed, and even the people that work with me have noticed that, you know, I remember things. I'm remembering appointments. I'm remembering, you know, what's going on around me, and not. I mean, I've had times, you know, months ago where I would go somewhere and not remember why I got there. You know, what I was going there for, and you know, I still have times where I have a brain loss for a second, but it's a lot sharper, and I feel like I'm on top of things. But with the added energy, it seems like I work through it, and it seems to be a lot better. So I'm really anxious to see where we go from here, because it's I seem to have a lot of improvement.
I felt I had had Lyme's disease for about 7 years. I was aching all the time. I had pretty severe fatigue off and on, and brain fog. Probably the brain fog was worse than my fatigue. I had neurological problems in my fingers, tingling, kind of cramping, kind of lack of sensation a lot, and in my toes somewhat. And then my knees, which has been my chronic problem, were swollen, stiff, hard to maneuver. I couldn't do a lot. I couldn't vacuum. I couldn't bend down without everybody helping me. I can use them. I can vacuum now. I can bend down and use them. They're just a little bit funny, but I can use them completely now. Very minor compared to what they were. I would call myself always between 85 to 90% normal compared to what I was before.
Okay.
I still have just pockets of pain once in a while, but they don't stay. My peripheral neuropathy is much better. My brain fog is so much better that I was able to go back to nursing school and get my registered nursing license back.
Okay, I'm Chris Wilson,
Her husband, Bill.
and I was diagnosed with Lyme disease almost 4 years ago. I was very ill and about 97 pounds, unable to eat anything but chicken broth.
Wow.
And a little bit of white rice later. That was a biggie. And anyway, I guess I've been coming here to Dr. John for about 2 years now, and completely rid of the Lyme disease. Yeah. Well, I hadn't really experienced a lot of symptoms. It was actually after I had gotten some amalgam fillings removed. It wasn't done properly. So I evidently ingested some mercury, and that got the ball rolling, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I had about every symptom that was on the list, you know, and a lot of just very bizarre symptoms. Not being able to sleep, and a lot of flinching and electrical surges going through my body, and complete fatigue and inability to really function. Spent a lot of time getting flat,
Wow.
rusting,
Yeah.
and so I think that the energy factor was huge, and just the quality of life. I was thinking the other day, I'm actually enjoying living again.
I got back from Africa about 18 months ago, and I came back and I contracted malaria when I was over there. And then when I got back to the States a couple of months after that, I found out that I have Lyme disease. So you put me on this remedy, and it's been such a blessing. A lot of the symptoms that I had have just totally disappeared. I've just been feeling really good.
That's awesome. Tell me how you were feeling before. What were your symptoms?
I had joint pains, and it seemed like I had pains in my organs, my liver, my kidney area, and neck pain, mostly joint pain in the back.
Low back?
Low back, yeah.
Wow. So how are things now? Like, would you say 30% better, 50%, 90%? You know, where are we at?
I'd say 90%. Yeah,
Awesome.
Definitely, yeah.
And how long's it been? A couple months? Few months?
It's been about 2 months, yeah.
Awesome.
Naturopathy, I'm a huge believer in that. I think that that's probably the missing piece in a lot of Lyme patients' care.
Okay.
And I think that if they were able to work with a good naturopath to get on a good diet, to get on some good supplements, to figure out what deficiencies they may have, get detoxed, all these kind of things are critical if you really want to get well. The more of that you do, the faster you will get well.